Hi, guys. It's Mary Beth with Day One Life Coaching, and I am here to talk about gaslighting. What the heck is gaslighting? Okay, so if you've been in this situation, then you already know. I don't have to tell you. You can listen to this video just for the extra validation and confirmation that you are not crazy, but you did have someone in your life who was indeed trying to make you feel like you were crazy. A gaslighter is someone who was being very manipulative in order to, they can alter your personal reality so that they can have more control over you. Some people think this is only what narcissists do. You could just be a controlling, manipulative person and be a gaslighter. You don't have to necessarily be a narcissist. Actually, I'm going to do another video on that because the word narcissist is used rather lightly and thrown around a lot these days when sometimes people are just being, manipulative and they don't have the actual personality disorder that narcissistic personality disorder actually is. It is a disorder and not necessarily is everybody who's called a narcissist. Actually, it might be showcasing some qualities that are narcissistic. By the way, we all do. We all have those qualities, but not everyone has the actual disorder. It is common, but not as much as you would believe by looking at social media, for sure. So anyway, gaslighting is when somebody is, let's say you're in a relationship, and it could be a friendship. It could be a parent-child situation. That's actually a lot of where people learn to do these techniques, these gaslighting techniques. It's because it was used on them as children, which is, and I'm going to throw in this point that some of you, if you're watching this, might not want to hear yet, if you're not completely healed from being on the receiving end of gaslighting. The best way to say it is try to have some compassion for these people, only because let's think about this. They were once a baby, a clean slate, and someone did this stuff to them. Someone in their life at some point was manipulative or they were just on the other end of it as the victim, or they watched their parents gaslight each other or control each other using these manipulative techniques. So that children live what they learn. That's the best way to say it. Hurt people hurt people. I know those are both cliches, but sometimes cliches, well, most of the time they're called cliches because they're true. So try to remember that and try to have compassion that sometimes it's just, that these assholes are wounded children as grownups. And so they haven't dealt with this. So they're trying to be in a conscious relationship when they're still unconscious. Okay. So now that I've said that, we're going to move forward on beating them up. No, I'm kidding. But we're going to move forward and discuss what it is like to be on the receiving end. So basically, anytime you want to have something that could be a normal conversation, your feelings are not validated. They're minimized and dismissed. And you're like, but no, I don't feel that way. But you're more like told what your feelings are or what your feelings should be. Or you are told your perspective is completely wrong. You could even be discussing something that happened. I mean, it could be recorded. It could be like on video, and they will still say, no, you're wrong. You're seeing it wrong. You're viewing it wrong. Your perception's wrong. You're crazy. You're going to hear a lot of that, a lot of you're crazy. Luckily for me, before I was with a person who tried the gaslighting on me, I had healthy relationships prior to that. So it was a huge red flag immediately, because I was like, wait a minute. I know my truth. I know my reality. So even having said that, I was in a relationship I couldn't get out of. I'm going to leave it there for a little while. I had to get my ducks in a row before I could actually physically leave. But I knew it was a problem right away, and I tried everything I could to fix it, and came to the conclusion that, sometimes these people who are controlling you are not even self-aware enough to change. They don't even know they're doing it. It's just one of their, it's just how they, like I said earlier, they learned what they lived by watching their parents or being on the other end of this. And this is kind of a way for survival for them. They're afraid of abandonment. They're afraid of something. So it gives them power over you to convince you that your reality is not real. So it can come in so many different ways. It's emotional abuse is what it is. Let's call it what it is. And when you're emotionally abused, it does throw you off balance, and that's intentional on their part. They want you to feel off balance. They want you to stop trusting your intuition, stop trusting yourself, isolate you from other people, from people who love you, bring you into their little reality where, it's you and them against the world, right? And because there's an insecurity there, it's always someone who's confident, someone who is self-aware and confident of it. They are not going to be the people who do this to you. I don't care how confident they look. I don't care if, honestly, if they're arrogant, that's insecurity. Nobody is arrogant and feeling secure. You don't need to show off when you have true confidence. And anyone who's watching this, by the way, quiet confidence is so much more attractive than arrogance and bragging about yourself. Think about that, because we see right through, people see right through the arrogance. We know it's truthfully insecurity. Putting other people down you're only going to do that to somebody if you're not feeling good about yourself. You're not going to be a confident person and trying to tear other people down. It just does not happen. That's not true confidence. So back to gaslighting, I just really wanted to make a quick video to help you guys recognize that if you have someone who is constantly telling you that your reality is not true and you know your truth, they're not letting you feel feelings. They're telling you you're being negative and dramatic when you're just trying to have a normal conversation that you could have with a partner. That's a huge red flag that you might be in a gaslighting situation. Sometimes they just don't want to deal with you. So they're going to tell you you're crazy just so they don't even have to have a serious conversation. That's very uncool and it's manipulative. That doesn't necessarily mean you're with a gaslighter. This is going to be long-term patterns. This is patterns over your relationship. Every now and then, we're all going to do something manipulative to get what we want. I'm a firm believer in that. None of us are perfect. So what I'm referring to is long-term patterns of isolating somebody from their family and friends, telling them that their perception is wrong, when you accusing them of having a personality disorder. That's a big one. It's not them, it's you. You're the one with the problem. When you're just trying to be rational and logical, when you reach a point where you're making your point, the crazy maker will change the subject. Right when you've made a really valid point, they will never admit to fault. They won't say they're sorry. And in fact, at the end of it, you're just going to be like more confused. It's really hard to stay present when you're in a conversation with a crazy maker who's gaslighting you, but you have to stay present. I'm telling you, that's your only way out of it, is because they're going to say things to spin you. Your head's going to be spinning. You're like, what? That's not what I'm even talking about. I was talking about this, and they're going to be on this completely different. Once you get your point out, they change the subject and twist things around on you and just leave you very off balance and confused. So, I mean, that's the main thing I'm going to say about gaslighting for now, just to keep this short. But if you have any questions, please go ahead and comment below. Just keep in mind, you are not crazy. Use your intuition and try not to be judging. Just try to really look at their childhood. But I'm not saying to stay with a person like this. I'm saying, please don't think you're crazy, and try to understand it and see where it's coming from when you look at their childhood, so you don't take it personally. It's not about you. It's about them and their insecurities, and they are not living consciously. They are not self-aware sometimes. Now, are there sociopaths out there? Yes, before people at me and get upset. There are people with just horrible motives and intentions, and they do not care and they are going to target you. Yes, those people exist. But a lot of times when gaslighting's happening, it's not that severe. It's, oops, my phone's ringing. It's not that severe. It's more based on somebody's insecurity and they are trying to, there really is a desperate act. It's a desperate act of keeping you. They learned it somehow in childhood that this is what they need to do to maintain the relationship because they don't feel the confidence that they would need to feel in order to maintain the right relationship in a conscious, truthful, vulnerable way. A gaslighter doesn't tend to be very vulnerable. Speaking of that, you're going to notice that a lot of the things that you shared when you were being vulnerable are going to be used against you later, unfortunately. So that's why I said in my last video to just be careful about being vulnerable with people who are not being vulnerable in return, because they're taking notes. They're taking notes and, they'll smile and nod and you will think you're making this connection, but really you're just giving away information on how they can play you later. So like I said, if you have any questions or comments about that, please leave them below this video and I will definitely get to reading them and respond as soon as I can. So I hope you have a great day. And also I am open to suggestions on anything you'd like me to do a video about in the future. Relationships, career, whatever it may be. It could be weight loss, like any topic, any life coaching topic, I'm willing to discuss and create a video for you. All right, so have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon.